¿Ya se lo quito? Bueno, seguimos, ¿eh? Seguimos. A ver si tenemos un poco más de acción, ¿no? En este capítulo. Muy charlado el capítulo anterior. Muy charlado. Uy. Empezamos, ¿eh?
Damn it! Lenegis soldiers!
Any way we can avoid fighting them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be ready.
44 son.
Well, so
Vamos,
much for them not wanting to fight.
Oh, I am Lord Dohalim of Elden Menancia. I command you.
Rest of the city must be erased.
No. Have they been brainwashed too?
Brainwashed or not, if they want to fight, they got one.
Armor won't save you!
It's almost too strong.
Split it open!
Be my guest. Severing wing. Their arcs are interrupted.
This way the
We're not finished!
Do it! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished.
Hurricane!
Astral
That's my cue!
look sharp. Lightning tiger blade.
Who's there?
No chance. Strike. Kisara,
Vamos.
commander of heaven.
Phoenix Cyclone!
Those soldiers seem different from the citizens we've come across so far.
Yeah, they weren't big talkers, that's for sure. They just attacked without warning.
They weren't in the least bit fazed by Dohalim's presence either.
Indeed. They seem to recognize us as enemies, nothing more. And yet, traditionally, Lenegis hasn't been high on threats. A few frenzied Zeugles during experiments here and there, but not much else.
Their glazed-over eyes reminded me of the soldiers and slaves we met back in Ganath Haros. The ones in blind devotion to Volron.
I've never seen anything like that here on Lenegis before.
Maybe someone doesn't want us here, and the soldiers are their way of letting us know.
What with the Red Woman, the Sovereign, and Volron, we're starting to develop quite the growing list of adversaries. At least we'll know to keep our wits about us.
A ver, ¿qué tenemos? Ay, mira qué lindo. Gelatina de Hugo. Ay, qué lindo bicho. Está acá el bicho. Y obviamente tenemos que ir por ahí.
What's with that shining foe over there?
This one's tough, but we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing.
Go time!
Heal
Let me see what I can do!
The flaming
These ones can run rings around us.
You picked the wrong fight.
Illuminate the dark!
Here's
the
fire.
roll! Holy glitter! Holy land! Flaming meteor! Ready!
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah! And finally to me!
Where are you going? Holy glitter!
You're mine! Severing wing!
Confiscated!
Make it rain! Chill!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished. Not
Do it.
yet. Remove!
Astral energy!
Say no more. Now! Take this! Severing wing! The flame inside me! Yours to be let free! Stardust! Burn in hell! Stardust!
Do it!
Remove!
Astral energy!
Say no more.
Looks like we got them all.
Mira lo que es eso. A ver. Vamos a guardarlo. ¡Ole! ¿A dónde tengo que ir? Ahí, ¿dónde tengo que ir? Al otro lado.
We're in
Anything
for a
in armor
long
is all
slog
mine.
with this one.
Armor
Now
won't
you'll
save you.
Far enough!
I won't show you any mercy. Destruction!
Going in!
No further. Severing wind.
Hurricane strike! Healing power! Going in!
Destruction.
More where that came from.
Switch!
Come on.
Remote.
Astral energy.
Say no more. My turn. Too fast. 10 pack. I'll trip it up.
Make it rain!
Astral energy.
Say no more.
I'll do everything I can with this power.
Make us proud, Alphen.
Yeah, we're counting on you.
Bien, y ahora no
The
sé si lo
soldiers don't
zafo.
seem to have any qualms about attacking on sight.
No, tengo que pelear sí o
Someone
sí,
making them stand guard over
44.
This one's tough, but we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing.
Ignite. Now or never. Destruction.
I think I'll pass on a handshake.
Destruction.
Not in your dreams.
Destruction.
Burning water. Here's my call. Lightning red. Going in. Here's evil.
I'll stop its charge!
Thanks, Kisara.
Where are you going? Going in!
Destruction.
Raging cascade.
Going in!
Destruction. I can carve through armor.
I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare the Malisa! Here goes!
Porque no te hizo mucho daño, ¿no?
Destruction. Burn in hell. Destruction.
I'm out of ammo!
Destruction.
Aw, don't shut over! Here, let me help!
Tiene punto débil, ¿no?
Try harder.
This one's mine!
Destruction.
This one's mine!
Anything in armor is all mine. Destruction.
Confiscated.
Try harder. This one's all mine. Ignite.
Let the marksman handle this.
Going in!
Destruction.
Hurricane strike! On guard!
Destruction.
I never miss! Shield and mace! Hurricane strike! On guard!
Try harder. My turn.
Do you require a
Far enough! I'm out of ammo! I'm all stocked up!
Destruction. Try harder. Ah! Take this. Coming through. Ha! Now. Scarlet Inferno.
Viste de una vez.
Armor won't save you. Take this.
Shield and mace!
Take this.
On guard!
Here I come. Take this.
Make it rain!
Look sharp. Lightning Tiger Blade.
Bien.
That'll teach us for getting caught.
A ver, peguemos la mirada por acá. A ver qué tiene. Quiero ver si hay alguna cosita para agarrar, ¿no? Hay material ahí interesante. Ah, ¿sabes qué? Vamos. Voy a pasar. La verdad tengo ganas de terminarlo. No puedo pasar por ningún lado.
This one's tough, but we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing.
Take this. Now. No escape.
Dream. If you won't bow that, then you leave me no choice. Raging star. Burning. Light
This one's mine! Make it rain!
Frozen.
Hammer!
Lightning. On guard. Can't be swirl.
support! Severing wings! Stardust!
Going in. Oh my God.
Kisara! Commander of Heaven! Phoenix Cyclone!
I'll heal you all.
Now! Here I come!
Raging storm. This
Healing
one's mine.
Die!
Armor won't save you! Thanks, Shion.
You're mine!
Here goes. Do it. Photon
One more! Here I come!
Here,
Wind!
flame of fury.
Stardust!
Burning strike. Glacial field. Come forth, holy glimmer.
With this, I
Vamos.
can become even stronger.
A ver, por acá, ¿no? Sí. ¿Por qué hay dos? Ah, tengo que venir acá. No la estamos haciendo bien igual, ¿eh? Lo ideal sería que pelees, ¿sí? Con todos los que te van mandando el juego, ¿no? Tenés que subir de nivel. Pero bueno, vamos a tirarnos al lance a ver qué pasa.
This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
But it's just a wall. How do we get through?
Whoa, we? I thought this was sovereigns only.
Alvin.
Yes! It opened!
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still opens the way, it would seem the Sovereign of 3 centuries ago and now are considered one and the same.
What?
What the?
Alphen,
You again.
Tomorrow's the spirit channeling ceremony. We'll finally play our parts as the Sovereign and Maiden. How have you been feeling?
What am I sovereign of? Shuffled from lab to lab, always treated like an experiment. Whenever they look at me, all they see is a Danon. I don't even know what their precious ceremony's for. Let alone what they're going to force me to do as the Sovereign. Tell me, if we're both in the same boat, why do you seem so calm right now?
No choice. Becoming the Maiden's not something I wanted for myself. But they said Rena's prosperity depended on it. How could I say no after that?
Still, as a Renan, at least you got to decide. Good for you. Meanwhile, I was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you, and I'm sorry for what it's worth. When this is over, I swear I'll help you get home. I can't do this alone. One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway. So, what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori Imaris. Try to remember this time.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renans, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds. But neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that sense, you and I are much the same. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people if we didn't see the humanity in each other. So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dana. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
What the hell just happened?
That vision. Did everyone else see it too?
That person Alvin was speaking to. She looked exactly like Shion.
It was Naori. Naori Imaris. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
She really does look like Shion. I'm beginning to see why Alvin was so confused.
That's all very well and fine, but what did we just witness exactly? It was too real to be a mere hallucination.
It was a conversation we had 300 years ago. The night before the ceremony.
You mean all of that really happened? We just saw an episode straight out of your past?
But how is that even possible? Unless... Could this be the Red Woman's handiwork too?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened, it was like a stream of Danon astral energy rushing over us.
I felt it too. And not for the first time either. It was the same sensation as back inside the wedge.
That would make sense. After all, vast amounts of Dana's astral energy were being siphoned and sent up here to Lenegus. For all we know, perhaps we're close to the spot where all that energy was stored.
So you think it might have been the energy itself that was responsible for that vision we just saw? But how? And why?
We have no way of knowing. Maybe it's not even as deliberate as all that.
Shion, you okay?
Yeah. It was all just a little sudden. That's all. So that was my ancestor, huh? It was like looking into a mirror.
Yeah, there certainly is a resemblance.
What about you? How are you holding up?
Me?
Even putting aside the question of where that vision came from, it's likely we'll see more of those. Reliving painful episodes from your past. Do you think you can handle it?
I can't just pretend like the past never happened. Besides, if it helps us uncover the truth of what that ceremony really was, it might also lead to answers about your thorns.
Alvin.
That's not all. This whole time, we've been fighting to free Dana from the Renans. But now that we're here, it seems those same Renans might have it just as bad. I'd like to liberate them too if I can. Which is just another reason I can't afford to shield my eyes from the truth.
Whether you're on Dana or somewhere else, you always stay the same. Your indignation and righteous passion, your desire to free and protect, they're all hardwired into you. Not that I'm complaining. Come on, let's bust this thing wide open.
Nobody's here.
Stay sharp. After that last
Voy a grabar porque tiene una pintita de jefe.
illusion, there's no telling what could happen in here.
Tiene una pinta de jefe. Así que vamos a ver cómo nos va.
Faria, how did you get in here?
Wait, something about her isn't right.
What's wrong with her? She doesn't even seem to know where she is.
Yeah, you're right. She looks just like the soldiers we encountered outside.
Ay, qué belleza. Mira lo que es eso. Uy, tiene seis brazos, tiene.
But that's
Ah, loco.
preposterous. She never had that kind of power
We
when...
can talk later. Here it comes.
45. Extremidades atormentadas. Me encantan las memorias.
I've never known Faria to control Zoogles like that before.
How about with a stone that looks suspiciously like a master
Abajo no.
Where did you get our hands on that?
First we handle the Zoogles.
Extremidades atormentadas.
Some answers.
Can't
get out of this. Destruction!
Going where are you going?
Ready to go!
Denied! Reload!
Destruction!
One's mine!
I'll smash you!
Destruction! Glacial field! Here's the evil!
Destruction!
This one's mine! Freeze Lancer!
Destruction!
Uy.
Now we're not
¿Viste modo loquita?
the flame inside me yours to be let free.
Le tiene que romper el coso del pecho. Mira, estoy pegando igual. Uy. Hermoso. Tenía ganas de curarme.
I'll stop its charge! Thanks, Kisara! Going in! Explosion! Not in your dreams! Flaming meteor! That'll bring you down! Holy glimmer! Holy land! You all! Leave the sword! Healing circle! Appreciate the help! Piercing roll! Lunar corruption! Far enough! Here, let me help!
Not today!
Hurricane strike! First aid! This one's mine!
80k de vida le queda todavía. Vamos, núcleo destruido. Hay que darle, hay que darle. Ay, se recuperó rápido, loco.
In an instant! Impact block!
Vamos, 67, 63k. Vamos, 60k le queda. Uy. Ahí me la pegó justo.
Anything in armor is all mine! Burn it
Where are you going? Sleep now. More ready to hear the healing arm through armor. Far enough. Stand in the wind. Here. Let me help. First aid. Lightning condemned. Thunderblade.
Can't get out of this!
Illuminate the Annihilation.
Me acerco. Si sé que me tengo que mover. Uy. Vamos, 46k le quedan. 40k.
In a bind? Hot praise coming from you.
I said almost. Don't get carried away.
Leave the chargers to me! And denied!
Gemini Aqua!
Piercing roll!
Power of flame! More where that came from!
Flaming meteor!
Vamos, 18k.
Hurricane strike!
I'm nearly done for.
Raging
Anything in armor is all mine! Too shy!
Inside me
Here,
yours
let
to
me
be let
help.
free.
Pull myself
In a
together.
bind?
Look sharp!
Destruction! I'll smash you! Eat dirt!
Hurricane strike!
Annihilation!
Destruction!
On guard!
Here
Here it comes! Focus!
Shining on your toes, everyone! Radiant pierce! Freeze lance ready! Here goes! Now!
Listo.
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Mándame otro,
That was
mándame
just
otro.
her! Faria, can you hear me? Faria!
She's preparing another summoning.
The art she's
Mándame otro,
casting is
mándame
way
otro.
too powerful to control. At this rate, her body won't be able to take much more. Dohalim!
Forgive me.
Eso es violencia, loco. ¿Cómo le va a pegar a la chica así?
Man, I thought we were goners.
Everything okay?
Yes. She's only unconscious.
Not her. I meant you.
Shion, please. Can you treat her?
I can try, but I can't promise she'll be back to her real self when she wakes up. All I can do is heal her physically.
We're not even supposed to be in here. Maybe it'd be better if we moved her to somewhere a little safer. Don't you think?
In that case,
I'll take her off your hands.
You?
Avakir, what are you doing here?
I was curious what you were up to, so I took the liberty of following you to find out. I overheard what you said about Tarnigan, about how he really died. I'm sorry, I had no idea.
And you believed me? What makes you so sure I wasn't lying?
I like to think I know you a little better than that, Dohalim. Give me some credit. I'll take Faria. Leave her with me. I know better than to ask what you're up to. But whatever it is, I hope it all works out.
Thank you.
He seems like a good friend.
He hasn't changed. He never was one to stand out. Instead, he was always hanging back, worrying about everyone else. As for Faria, it's always the closest to me who get hurt.
You don't seriously blame yourself for what happened to her, do you?
Somebody got to her, to strike back at me. Someone who knew me well enough to know that I'd hesitate to fight back. And the same goes for you as well. Neither you nor Faria would have lost loved ones, if it wasn't for me.
You're wrong. Kelzelik was the one who killed my brother, under orders from Almadria. As for Tarnigan, if it weren't for the crown contest, he'd still be alive. That and the whole damn hierarchy that makes it possible. But that's why we're fighting. To put an end to this whole messed up system that treats people as expendable.
Indeed. Ridding society of this blight is really the only way I know how to atone for my sins.
You can't atone, Dohalim. I know it hurts to hear, but those people are dead. No amount of soul-searching or trying to make amends is going to change that. Forgiveness, acceptance, those ships have sailed.
So I just forget the harm I caused?
No, the opposite, in fact. You remember. You never forget. You keep it in your heart always. And then you go on living. Not for those already past, but for those still alive.
For those still alive.
Kisara's right. So long as we've still got breath in our bodies, we can make a difference in the lives of others. Lives being the operative word.
That's what living's all about. Being able to still make a difference. Punishing yourself for the past won't make the pain of your conscience go away.
Only fixing the problem in its stead. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. You have to live for tomorrow, Dohalim, not for yesterday. And not only that, you need to live for yourself, and for the change that you still can be.
I shall try.
Don't forget, we've still got a mystery to solve. The Forbidden Zone, remember?
Shion,
Huh?
thank you. You have my deepest gratitude for what you did for Faria.
Glad to be of service.
I'm glad we could stop.
Do you think Faria was really being controlled by someone?
Certainly seemed that way. The question is, who? The Red Woman?
The same person who's behind all of this, I'll bet. Whoever that is.
Brainwashed or otherwise, The feelings of resentment she holds towards me are real.
Someone used her because they knew we'd hold back. If that's not playing dirty, I don't know what is.
It does tell us one thing at least. Someone here in Lenegis is watching us. Someone who means us harm.
There's no question. That attack was meant for us alone.
By someone capable of getting inside a person and manipulating them like a weapon. We need to find whoever it is, fast.
Bueno. Vamos. Pero... Vamos, loco, vamos. Menos charla, loco, menos charla.
What is it, Rinwell? Do you hear something again?
Yeah. It's that voice.
The will of Dana's astral energy.
What? There's so much astral energy. But where's it all coming from? It's almost like it's alive.
That was the spirit channeling ceremony just now. No, it was more than that.
What the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of... like the whole world was seconds from...
Oblivion. It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me. A vision of impenetrable darkness that swallows up us and everything else.
An empty void. A nothing so complete and dominating that there aren't even words to describe it. The end of time.
The visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing. If I'd known how bad they were,
So, everything we just saw, those were Naori's memories, right?
That's right. It was as if her innermost thoughts were speaking directly to us. At least I know they weren't mine.
That power flowing into her. It reminds me of Shion's thorns. If they're what's responsible for all these visions she's been having, then maybe...
Maybe my thorns are made from that same astral energy?
If that is the case, we just found the missing link between your thorns and what happened here 3 centuries ago. No, more than a link. Perhaps even the very heart of the matter.
I've never felt astral energy so powerful. What was that?
If it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right? And isn't that something only Renans have?
Correct. Dark astral energy is possessed by Renans alone.
And when enough astral energy gathers together, it develops its own form of sentience. If so, maybe that complete oblivion is exactly what the Renan astral energy's will is wishing for. But why?
I don't know. Will can be a pretty vague thing to nail down. It's more of a feeling, just like the will of Dana.
But the will of Dana is made up of astral energy too, right? And if that's what's been showing us these visions... I don't know, should we really be getting so involved with this thing?
Dana's will would never want oblivion.
But you can't say that for sure.
Cut it out, you two. Squabbling over theories will get us nowhere.
Let's keep moving. If it's Dana's will showing us these memories, then I'm as clueless about its motives as any one of us. But if it could lead us to the truth, then I want to find out more.
Shion's right. All we can do is keep going. If these really are Naori's memories we're watching, there could be truths in them I was never aware of. And I think they may be the kinds of truths I need to confront if we're going to keep fighting.
I'm sorry about what I said earlier. Come on, let's go.
Finally.
That vision we saw. It was as if it was meant specifically for us.
O sea que toda la energía esa
What do you
escala
make of it?
acumulada
Do
genera
you still think the will of Dana
eh,
might be involved somehow?
conciencia y quiere
Maybe it's
destruir
trying
a
to tell us something.
todo,
But
a todo el
what?
mundo.
Well, it could be supernatural. You know, like
Aparentemente,
seeing
por
dead
ahora, lo que se
people,
rescata es
messages
eso.
from beyond the grave, ghost type stuff.
That's your grand theory? That we're being haunted? Come on, Law.
Wait. He might be closer to the mark than you think. What if a person's thoughts and deeds were to somehow become indelibly etched into the ether of a place? And what if those with a connection could then somehow pick up on them?
You think that's what it was? Some kind of message someone left here for us?
I am merely entertaining the possibility. Whether it was Dana's will, or somehow connected to the Sovereign and Maiden's powers, I do not know.
Okay, back up a sec. You're saying that if a place is full of enough astral energy, it can somehow show us events that happened centuries ago?
More to the point, how does that much astral energy gather in one place anyway? Seems unlikely it happened naturally.
Whatever it was, it survived here intact for 300 years. Whoever left it for us, the strength of their intent is beyond doubt.
The strength of their intent. Soon, we might very well learn the truth behind Shion's. I have to be ready to face anything. But whatever happens, I'm determined to save Shion and Dana. Nothing I learn can change that.
Parece que te está marcando, ¿eh? Como que te está diciendo, nada, te queda avanzar, ya estás terminando. A ver. Vamos a ver. Vamos, loco, ¿eh? Vamos que lo terminamos.
Hold up, you guys.
What is it?
I want to look through that room over there. I'm curious what we'll find.
That's the room you visited in your past, right? Sure. We can check it out. This looks like some kind of research facility.
A laboratory secreted away in the Forbidden Zone. Why am I past being surprised at this point?
Looks pretty deserted.
Let's check it out. It might give us a new lead.
I think I can make this work.
Well, can you make head or tail of it?
These are experiment records, by the looks of it. Reams of them, dating back hundreds of years. Let's see. A composite being capable of controlling Danon astral energy so as to convert its molecular and elemental makeup. The creation of a governing central figure, taking the form of a Danon. Codename Sovereign.
Sovereign.
Wait, there's more. Research into utilizing force field crystals for the purpose of stable astral energy containment. That must be the master course. With all this raw data, there's bound to be records here somewhere about the Maiden and the Lords, too.
About the Lords? Why would they be on there?
Think about it. The Lord's crests are clearly of a piece with those of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. Not to mention the fact that the contenders to the crown are selected from otherwise regular Renan citizens. In other words, it may be that all Renans are unwittingly being made subject to some kind of grand scheme.
What about the Sovereign? Does it say anything else?
Where do I start? All I've read so far is the headlines. There's so much here. To sift through all of it would require specialized... Wait.
What is it? Did you find something?
It's a list of names, with the title Test Subjects, Sovereign. It's your call.
Read it.
There must be dozens of test subjects listed here. Hundreds even. All of them failures. Wait. I think I've found one that was successful.
Alphan.
Test subject number 1273. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Alphan.
They re-engineered me. Right here in this lab.
Alphen.
It's fine, really. What about the others? Was I the only one?
Test subject number 10105. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Volron.
Volron?
But that means...
He's only sovereign because someone made him that way too.
He's the last one. In 3 centuries worth of records, you and Volron are the only 2 subjects on whom the experiment was a success.
But what about the winners of the crown contests? Does this mean that none of them were ever crowned sovereign after all?
Upon victory, the Sovereign shall return to Rena and rule over Rena and Lenegis combined. When a new Sovereign is decided, the outgoing monarch shall relinquish their post and live out the rest of their days on Rena. So we were told. But according to these records, there have only ever been 2 Sovereigns, neither of whom had anything to do with the crown contest. It's all lies, including the part about the Sovereign residing in Rena. The crown contest was never about deciding a new ruler. It must always have been devised for some other purpose.
But even supposing that's true, someone must have been in charge for the past 3 centuries, right? If it wasn't the Sovereign, then who was it?
Crown contests have been held this whole time, in spite of the fact that there was already a sovereign. Me. Meaning that for the past 300 years, someone out there has to have been maintaining that lie. The same person I'm willing to bet is behind all this.
The Red Woman?
It's possible. But that doesn't necessarily mean she's the mastermind behind this scheme. She could be working for someone else. Someone back on the Ren and homeworld.
Either way, it's fair to say she's definitely involved somehow.
What about the data records? Is there no other information that could help us?
Not that I can see. Just file upon file of experiment results. There's nothing here about who's behind all this, or what their endgame is, unfortunately. I've barely managed to scratch the surface, mind you. You won't be able to read through it all, but you're welcome to take a look through what you can, while we're here.
I'll do that.
So this is where Alphen became the Sovereign, and Volron as well. The significance of this look...
El soberano actúa como dispositivo de control central de Lenegis para la canalización espiritual. Cada uno de ellos tiene autoridad nivel 2 y una insignia identificatoria. Un sujeto de nano sirve como base para su creación. En teoría, los candidatos ideales tienen la misma afinidad para cada elemento astral. Sin embargo, es muy difícil encontrar una aptitud así en condiciones reales. Como resultado, muchos sujetos mueren en el periodo de ajuste, y los que sobreviven no tienen la estabilidad asegurada. Esta inestabilidad se suma a los poderes de manipulación astral del soberano y presenta un gran riesgo para la seguridad del Negis si no se controla. Por lo tanto, se deben tomar medidas estabilizadoras mediante el mecanismo de apoyo cuando se usa al soberano en la canalización espiritual. Apéndice 1. No se encontraron métodos alternativos eficaces para realizar la ceremonia. Se autoriza la continuación de las pruebas con sujetos dananos. Los ajustes de la unidad 2 son un éxito. Las modificaciones siguientes se harán tras un periodo de observación extendido. Dice, la doncella actúa como mecanismo de apoyo del soberano en la canalización espiritual. Cada uno de ellos tiene autoridad nivel 2 y una insignia identificadora. Un sujeto renano cumple su función y proporciona al soberano la energía astral de oscuridad complementaria que falta junto con el alma de Rena. Durante la ceremonia es en parte responsable de la conversión de energía astral y también de obtener la estabilidad de los poderes del soberano. Además, se observó que el grado de confianza que se tiene con el soberano impacta de forma positiva en el nivel de estabilidad de ambos. Debido a esto, se prohíbe las activaciones de prueba del soberano sin la doncella presente. Además, ni el soberano ni la doncella deben conocer los detalles del plan de canalización espiritual. Apéndice 1. Se determinó que la inestabilidad mental de la doncella es la causa del desenfreno del soberano anterior. Deben considerarse contramedidas. Apéndice 2. De acuerdo con los ajustes del plan, el sujeto actual perderá la condición de doncella y volverá a su hogar original.
Would suggest.
Hermoso.
Hey, it looks like the terminals in here turned on too.
We should look through them. They might...
Only 2 sovereigns in over 300 years. So why has the experiment only succeeded twice in all this time? And if that's the case, why keep on doing it? Was there really no other way? Or could there be some other reason?
Dohalim.
Forgive me.
Alphen.
I'm fine. I'm just a little shaken, that's all. I knew what I was already, so it's not like it's a surprise or anything. But it's strange. I've got all this rage inside of me, but I don't even know who it's for. I'm scared that I'll put a face to it, just to have someone to blame.
If that were to happen, then No. Then we'd help you fight it. before you ever got that far. Wouldn't we, everyone?
Yeah, we wouldn't just sit by and watch you spiral out of control.
That's right. No good can come from being consumed by hatred.
If you ever start to lose your way, you can count on us to guide you back. To remind you where home is.
And I would be happy to lend an attentive ear, should you ever have need.
Thank you, everyone. I think I'll be okay now.
For the people of Lenegus, the Forbidden Zone is the stuff of dreams. Yet here I am, standing within its hallowed halls.
It's off limits even for lords, then? Talk about an exclusive club.
Being exclusive is one thing, but how many important facilities let in only the Sovereign? Doesn't that seem a little strange?
Strange doesn't cover it. If it was only one room, maybe. But a place on this scale? How do they keep it from falling into ruin? Whoever the Sovereign is, they can't manage the upkeep of this whole place themselves.
Did no one ever talk about it when you were growing up?
No, not that I can remember. Then again, Sovereigns and Forbidden Zones weren't exactly breakfast table conversations.
The Forbidden Zone is a hallowed place, at one with the Sovereign's authority, grounds of the one true ruler who presides over all Renans. That is what we believed this place to be. No, what we were made to believe it was. But now, it is finally time to discover this area's true purpose, and why it was kept hidden behind the scenes for so long.
Bueno. A ver. Sigamos avanzando. ¿Cuántas botellas vitales tengo? Ah, tengo las 15. Bueno.
Naori,
Don't talk. I have to do this. I gave you my word that I'd help you return to Dana. The next time you open your eyes, you'll be home.
But you...
My place is here with my people. I still have a duty to fulfill. I'm sorry for what you've endured. Renan never should have dragged you into this. It's not your burden to bear.
But...
The mask contains a sedative. It should keep your mind from tearing itself apart any further. Let yourself go to sleep. This should help with the pain. Time to go, Elfin. Farewell.
Naori...
His injuries are worse than I thought. Short-term treatment isn't going to cut it. I'll have to switch the healing pod to long-term hibernation mode. The chance of surviving hibernation's less than 10%? And worse, long-term use of the mask carries a high risk of damaging his mind and nervous system. But... If I don't head back, Lenegus will be nothing but ashes, and this starship along with it. I don't know if I can fulfill my promise to you, Alphen. But if doing this will grant you even the slightest chance, I have to try.
Qué bueno, nos explicaron la
I hope
máscara,
it's enough.
por lo menos ahora, ¿no? Y por qué pierde la memoria también. Qué bueno, qué bueno.
Please.
Se vayan cerrando las dudas que teníamos.
That vision. It must have been from when Naori helped Alphen escape Lenegus.
She sure went above and beyond the call of duty.
Even with Lenegus crumbling down around her, she chose to stay put with her people.
So that's why you lost your memories and sense of pain, and why you were asleep for that whole time. It was all the result of one agonizing decision Naori made to save your life.
Yeah. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't even be alive today. I owe her everything. More than I could ever hope to repay.
Now that you know how she felt, how do you plan on honoring her wishes?
She kept her promise. If the Renan people she fought so desperately to protect are at risk from a malevolent force, then I owe it to her to carry on her fight. Naori was the one who put that mask on me, and made me Iron Mask.
She did it to prevent your soul from tearing itself apart. She knew you might lose your memories and sense of pain as a result. But more than anything, she wanted you to survive. And you did.
Muy bueno, muy bueno. Bueno, van cerrándose cositas, loco. Dejamos el capítulo de acá, ya estamos llegando al final seguro. Si el video te gustó, dale like, compartí, suscribite, hacer todo eso. Te mando un saludo y nos vemos. Chau, chau.